Hello and welcome to The Image, and you are watching Insights on Indian Astronomy. As we are celebrating Makara Sankranti today, in this video we are going to talk about the festival from an astronomical and cultural point of view. For many people, Makara Sankranti is just about flying kites, eating their favorite food items, taking a break from their daily routine, and meeting their friends and family. All of this definitely adds value to one's life and is important for us humans. But very few people stop to ask some deeper questions like what is Makar Sankranti and why is it celebrated on this particular day only? Are there any other Sankrantis other than this? Do other cultures around the world also observe any Sankranti? We are also going to talk briefly about certain issues which even fewer people ask, like is the day of Sankranti that we celebrate today actually mark the beginning of Uttarayan as many people believe it to be? Does Sun enter into the actual constellation of Capricorn in the sky on this day? Does it hold the same value for people living in the southern hemisphere as well? To get into all this, we need to first understand what Uttarayan is. All the Hindu festivals are based upon this deep understanding of the observer with everything happening around him. The philosophy of a festival in the Hindu tradition is to try and align with all the events happening around oneself and hence live in harmony with nature. So, let us with a rational mind understand what Uttarayan actually means. You must be aware that the sun does not rise in the east and set in the west during all days of the year. It only happens 2 times a year, which are the days of equinoxes, namely the spring and autumnal equinox. In the northern hemisphere, if you observe the rising sun every day, due to the Earth's axial tilt, the sun appears to be rising more and more towards the north of east after the spring equinox and rises 23.5 degrees north of east during the summer solstice and comes back to rise exactly in the east again on the day of autumnal equinox and then rises more and more towards the south of east every day only to rise at about 23.5 degrees away from east during the winter equinox. This apparent northward and southward movements of the sun in the sky, which happen each year, are known as Uttarayan and Dakshinayan respectively, each lasting for 6 solar months. It is only when the Uttarayan starts that the sun starts moving back to the northern hemisphere, increasing the length of the daytime. Uttarayan holds a deep value in Indian culture and religion. It is the day for which Bhishma waited for 58 days on the bed of arrows to leave his body in order to attain liberation. Lord Krishna also mentions about Uttarayan and Dakshinayan in the Gita as the two paths available for the afterlife destiny, and he associates northward movement with liberation and the southward movement with rebirth. That is why Bhishma decided to wait until Uttarayan started in order to get liberated. So, when does this period, which is so important culturally and religiously, actually start? As you have seen, it starts after the winter solstice on 21st of December in the northern hemisphere, and hence the day on which we celebrate Makar Sankranti around 15th of January each year is not the beginning of Uttarayan in today's age. Let us also understand this phenomenon by taking the example of Vaikunta Ekadashi festival, which is considered the day on which the gates of Vaikunta are opened, which is a metaphor for liberation. Vaikunta Ekadashi always happens a couple of weeks before 15th of January Makar Sankranti. So, if you believe Makar Sankranti on 15th of January to be the day on which Uttarayan starts, then how come Vaikunta Ekadashi happens before Makar Sankranti every year? Does this mean the doors of Vaikunta are opened before Uttarayan starts? I hope you are able to see this particular contradiction. This is why Vaikunta Ekadashi is celebrated very close to the actual Uttarayan, which starts after 21st of December every year and not after 15th of January. Let us discuss more about this probably in another video. Let us now understand what Makara Sankranti means. The etymology behind the word Samkranti or Sankranti, according to the Sanskrit dictionaries, is a sort of transference or passage. Contextually, it refers to the passage of the sun from one division to another. If we break the word Sankranti, it gives rise to two words, Sama and Kranti. The word Sama means equal or uniform, and the word Kranti means change, and interestingly, it also refers to the ecliptic, which is the sun's path in the sky through an year. So, the word Samkranti can be inferred as a change during the uniform course of the sun in the sky. Makara Sankranti refers to the change which happens during the sun's entry into the division of Makara, aka Capricorn, during its passage on the ecliptic. Every time the sun enters a new constellation, there is a new Sankranti, which also marks the beginning of a new solar month. There are 12 Sankrantis in a year as the sun travels through the 12 constellations of the zodiac. The sun, as observed from the earth during different times of the year, appears as though he is situated in a particular constellation, and he travels through the 12 constellations in a certain path known as the ecliptic. Makara Sankranti is among the very few Hindu festivals which are purely solar based, unlike other festivals which depend on the lunisolar calendar. The Thai people celebrate Songkran as their new year during Mesha Sankranti, which is when the sun enters the first sign of the zodiac, which is Aries. Cambodia and Laos too celebrate their new year during this very time. This is in accordance with the Theravada Buddhist traditions. One must understand that the 12 constellations through which the sun travels are not all equal in their length, and hence the ecliptic has been divided into 12 parts using two different systems. 1. Tropical or Sayana system, and 2. Sidereal or Nirayana system. According to the tropical or Sayana zodiac, the origin or the first point of the ecliptic starts at the point where the sun is present during the spring equinox, and 12 equal divisions are made from this origin point, and each division is one tropical or one Sayana Rashi. Nirayana or the sidereal zodiac, on the other hand, considers the origin to be the point which is 180 degrees opposite to the star Spica or Chitra, and 12 equal divisions are made from this point of origin longitudinally, and each division is one sidereal or one Nirayana Rashi. This is the popularly followed Lahiri or the Chitra Paksha Ayana of the sidereal zodiac. In the sidereal or Nirayana system, the Aries division has the constellation of Aries situated in it, and this is true for all the constellations and Rashis. But the tropical Aries Rashi only includes a small part of the actual Aries constellation, yet it is called Aries Rashi of the tropical or Sayana system. Hence, due to this difference in the way the sky is divided, the two Makara Sankrantis exist. The first, according to the tropical zodiac, on 21st of December, as this is the day when the sun enters the tropical division of Capricorn. And second, according to the sidereal or Nirayana system, on 15th of January, which is when the sun enters the sidereal Capricorn. So, if you choose the tropical zodiac system, you will time the Uttarayan or the northward course of the sun correctly, but miss out on the sun's actual entry into the constellation of Capricorn. And if you choose the sidereal zodiac system, you may time the entry into Capricorn correctly, but lag behind actual Uttarayan by more than 3 weeks. It is due to the Earth's axial precession that the tropical and sidereal systems don't align with each other. This difference existed in the Vedic age as well, and rishis like Parashara, Vriddhagarga and Lagada, who existed much before than Aryabhatta and Varahamihira, were actually aware of this. They used the two systems as per their requirement. There was also a time when the tropical and sidereal systems coincided with each other, which was around 285 AD. The difference again gradually increased to up to 24 degrees in today's time. It is because the Hindu tradition follows the sidereal system more to time the festivals that it was found appropriate to observe Makara Sankranti around 15th of January every year. But it is important to note that it does not mark the beginning of Uttarayan in today's day and age. It is important to also note that the sun's entry into the actual constellation of Capricorn in the sky happens around 19th of January every year. But we celebrate this entry happening around 15th of January because the sidereal division of Capricorn starts a few longitudes prior to the actual constellation of Capricorn, and the sun enters this longitude around 15th of January every year. I hope that you now see some difference between the constellation of Capricorn, the sidereal Capricorn and the tropical Capricorn. Let us explore these themes in detail some other time. Now finally, what about the people living in the southern hemisphere? For them, the sun is going to move away. It is peak astronomical summer and not winter during 21st of December. The sun after 21st of December, which is the summer solstice for southern hemisphere, moves away from them towards the autumnal equinox, which is completely opposite to what is happening in the northern hemisphere. In the northern hemisphere, the sun on 21st of December, which is the day of winter solstice, moves towards the spring equinox. For the people living in the northern hemisphere, the sun starts moving towards them during Uttarayan, but during the same time, the sun moves away for people living in the southern hemisphere. While the people in India would be celebrating the beginning of the sun's return, people in Australia would be facing the beginning of sun's departure. So, should we call it the beginning of Dakshinayan for them? Or, because the sun is still moving towards geographical north, is it still Uttarayan? I leave you with these questions to ponder upon and hope that people would at least try to understand and explore the reasons behind why we do what we do. Thank you for watching.